welcome into NOS Performance Keys to the Race. My name is Bass Masters, and got a pretty good race car driver over here, Kyle Busch. We're going to talk about Bristol today, Kyle. Yeah. I noticed a giant trophy case with all Bristol trophies back there.
Yeah.
So that's obviously a good track for you. What are you doing there to kick everyone's butt in all these different race cars?
Well, the biggest thing is just getting a feel for the place. You know, I went there for the first time, obviously it was the old configuration, and it was fun. Everybody loves going there. You know, you move people out of the way. You got to rough them and tough them a little bit. And
right.
They repaved the place and changed it a little bit, and now it's kind of smoother sailing. You know, you can race each other. You don't have to move each other out of the way as much, and that's. I mean, I'm not going to say that's my kind of style of racing, but
right.
It lends more into side-by-side racing, being able to race each other rather than just moving people out of the way. And it's just fit my style ever since. You know, I've just kind of come to figure out the keys to that place, and I only know them and nobody else.
Okay, so we're not going to get that much out of you, but beating guys through the corner, there's a lot of grip here,
yes.
right? I mean, you can be pretty aggressive in the corner?
Yeah, you can. Well, certainly. There's aspects to it. It depends on what tire Goodyear brings. Mm-hmm. You know, I know we've had a couple tire debacles there the past couple of years,
right.
but the one that they keep bringing back that lays the rubber down, we love. You know, it's
right.
it's the best one. We like it.
Right.
So, you know, the keys there is just kind of, you know, you can overdrive the corner for a while and make it work and build the speed through there. But when you get through the run and when you start getting this field spread out and now you're lapping guys, there's cars going around there the whole time. So there's like a vortex effect or something like that.
Right.
And then there's not much downforce on the cars anymore. So now it's all about handling. So now you're moving around and trying to find the best place where your car is going to make speed.
Now, talk about the sensation of speed there, because a lot of people say, oh, it's a half mile. You might look at the raw numbers and go, well, they're not going that fast. But I mean, your head must be spinning.
Yeah, certainly. People ask me all the time, they're like, do you get dizzy at Bristol?
Right.
And I'm like, no, you don't. Sometimes you forget where you're at. Like after a while, you run 100 laps green or something like that. You know, you're in a rhythm, man. You're just doing the throttle and the brake and everything and steering and all that. And you don't really get a sensation for what corner you're going into next sometimes. You know, you just kind of get into the rhythm and there's cars everywhere and you're trying to pass them, and so you get lost. I've gotten lost there before.
But you found your way to victory lane
it's
anyway.
not that hard to get lost, but yeah, it's kind of weird.
Now, talk about pitting at Bristol. Obviously, under yellow, you got to go around the whole track, and under green, you're just going down your side. Is that tricky at all?
For Jeff Gordon, it is.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
I remember he screwed that up, didn't he?
Yeah, a couple times he and a couple other guys, I don't remember who, but you know, there's not many times that you pit under green there, so you sometimes don't know which side to go on. You know, we always know under yellow off turn 2.
Right.
But when you're pitting on the front stretch and you're running around there under green, it is so weird to come off of turn 4 and to come to pit road, you know, so it makes it challenging.
Now, talk to me a little bit about your starting position here, because I noticed with all the victories you've had here, all the great finishes, you've only started in the top 10 one time. So you've passed a lot of cars here.
Yeah.
Where are you passing them? How are you getting by people?
You know, the biggest thing about Bristol for me is you'll look at the practice sheets, I'll be anywhere between 20th and 30th the whole weekend, you know, and then we'll qualify, I don't know, somewhere, I think my average is probably 19th or something like that.
Right,
it's not that great. But when it gets into the race and you get running there, you know, you get into that rhythm and it's just a motion thing, and that's how you pass them. You know, you go high, you go low, you just figure out where your car's working best and try to find the most speed that you're getting. Throughout a run, you know, you'll really start slipping the car out of the corners and not have much forward bite down the straightaways. So you might get wide open if you get wide open for just a split part of a second. So there's times in the race where you're real edgy and you're just kind of modulating everything. I
got you. Now, late in the race, how does it change if there's a long run to the finish versus one of these late restarts, 2-3 lap shootout?
You know, it's tricky because I feel like I'm better on the long run. Like I can get away from people the more we run. I can just build that consistency, and I feel like that's my strong suit. The restarts, though, when there's only a couple laps left to go, we saw that in 2008. Carl got by me, you know, used a little bumper, but you know, you're so on edge. You're trying to hit your marks exactly right, and you're trying to feed it throttle, and you're feeling nervous. You know, your butt doesn't feel as good as you want it to because you're like, am I loose? Am I tight? I want to go to the gas, but I can't go to the gas. You know, so in those moments, those are the moments where sometimes I struggle because I'm always set for the long run. I kind of get into a feel and get into a rhythm. I get comfortable with it, you know, where the short runs, you're just so tense because you know the checker flag's 5 laps away, and 5 laps at Bristol is only about a minute long.
Right, not very long at all. Well, I think you'll do okay this coming weekend. 3 races for Kyle Busch. Those are your NOS Performance Keys to the Race.
Rowdy.com. Say it like it is.
Say what like it is?
Rowdy.com.